You might notice more men wearing beards in Egypt since the fall of the Mubarak regime. Muslim men around the country are letting their whiskers grow as a symbol of their religion and their newfound freedom. It's a trend that extends all the way to the presidential palace. Mohammed Morsi of the Muslim Brotherhood, he is the first bearded Egyptian president, and Michael Holmes is here to talk about all this hair here. When I lived in Egypt, there were two different groups, right? So the guys, the young guys, the westernized guys, they didn't have any facial hair. Right. And then you had the more religious conservative who did have the beards.
That's the same across the region,
what is the significance of this?
Well, for a lot of Muslims, they see the growing of the beard as a symbol, if you like, of religious piety, that somehow it's linked to showing their religiousness, if you like. It's actually not really written anywhere in Islam, but it is seen that way. And you go to a lot of Muslim countries, you'll see a lot of the more traditionalists with the beards. What's changed now in Egypt, though, which makes it interesting, is you're now seeing beards popping up in places you didn't before. Policemen, flight attendants, even anchors on the TV news. And you're also seeing on the other side, too, the women starting to wear headscarves if they want to. It's sort of an expression of freedom, if you like, under the new democracy.
And why was it that President Mubarak, the former president, was not allowing people to express themselves in that way? What was he afraid of? What was he so afraid of?
And that's the interesting part of it. You know, under Mubarak, Egypt was, secularism was the norm. He was afraid of religion or fervent religion because he saw it as a threat, because he was so secular himself. He thought that if there was any Islamism growing in his country, it was a threat to the government. So what did he do? He basically outlawed any sort of, I don't even want to say extremism, but any sort of real outward expression of religious fervour. And so part of that was beards. And so he basically, if you wore a beard in Egypt well, you couldn't do it in public service, you wouldn't get the job. And in public jobs like, you know, like firemen and policemen and that, banned, couldn't happen. The army, of course, the same. And so what happened then over a period of decades was people became afraid of beards as well, because it represented the devil that Mubarak and his regime had created Islam to be. Or Islam was equated with terrorism. They were the devil. And so this sort of atmosphere of fearing the beard came up. Now, of course, you've got an Islamic or an Islamist in power. It's like, hey, beard time. Yeah, but that frightens a lot of people.
I was going to ask, is there a flip side to that where people might think there are more people who are extreme?
Yes, that is the flip side, is all these people who've grown up through decades of this secularism are now seeing the beards that are being sprouted as almost threatening in a way, even if they're not. You know, people are seeing it that way, and that's expressed itself with, here's a good example, it's becoming a legal issue now. You've got something like 60-odd policemen who were suspended for growing beards, and there's now all these court cases coming up that this is an expression of freedom and that they should be allowed to have it. So it's actually gone to the courts now, beards and jobs, and are you allowed to not tell somebody to not have a beard?
Got to leave it there.
Yeah.
Do you ever have a beard?
When I was about 18, it was pretty pathetic, I have to say. My newspaper days. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You got to bring that picture in sometime.
Oh, God, that'd be embarrassing. My hair was longer than yours.
Really?
Yeah, it was, actually. Surfy days.
Now you really have to bring it in.